Good morning. Good morning. But welcome. I'm gonna not have a lot of chatting today because I want to play. I mean, I want to play usually as well, but you know, sometimes you want to go in immediately. I got my coffee. Today is actually a holiday in my country, which is probably the only reason I've been able to procrastinate so long. I cannot work. I need to be creative to be working, and I cannot put any creativity out of my fingers right now for some reason. I'm just worrying too much right now, and while I worry, I cannot work, and that's bad because I have to work more to worry less. But instead, I'm gonna just spend a good time with you all for a short moment, like I think 1 or 2 hours surely. And we will continue a little bit more with the Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker. I was so into the collab yesterday, I completely forgot. I went to bed afterward and I completely forgot I have to put my hormonal plaster on each week. I mean, Monday was probably a little bit bad at some point anyway for me, so it's okay. And the music is over, which means I'll switch over to the game scene. Let's continue this, shall we? So we've got a couple of more patients now. We're still in the first status. Dr. Dekker has been probably murdered. That's what the police thinks right now. I'm trying to do this entirely without hints for the sole reason that there is an achievement if you do this without hints. So I'm gonna try doing this without hints. We cleared Bryce, Claire, and Mariana without hints. Those are other patients of the deceased Dr. Dekker, which we think might have been murdered. Now we're part of the police. I'm working as a psychologist, filling in for Dr. Dekker, trying to find out what may have happened because his patients seem to be the prime suspects for this murder, for this potential murder. So that's where we're at. If they have a green bubble, that means I have asked them everything I can ask them for now. They have no more answers. We've seen everything. If they are yellow bubbles or orange bubbles, depending on your color sight ability, then they will be done story-wise. Like they have told you everything they can tell you about the story, but they still have more to tell you, either about themselves or around all of it. But you've got everything you need to know. And if they are red, you either haven't talked to them yet, or you haven't gotten anything out of them at all, or not enough. Like, if they are red, they still have a ton to tell you. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, we could have Ellen and Nathan. Nathan seems to be a child. He's kind of usually... I haven't seen him completely. Like, every time I click on Nathan, he's like not showing his face in the camera. Finally, he does. It's not a child. Okay, good. So that's Nathan. I'm gonna still do Ellen first. We have an option to go through notes. We only have the notes from Mariana, weirdly enough. We didn't get any notes from the others. We have the question history. Now, those questions aren't point and click questions. I really have to type them up here into the question bar. Luckily, it does live with like some mistypings that I do, so that works out. And we can click back on responses to listen to them. See, and the subtitles will have correct writings, which is probably why I use them sometimes, but the subtitles also will show you orange hints, as in some trigger words or potential trigger words might be cursive. As soon as the word is cursive, that is a story-related word. But if you want to know if you want to get them green, you have to look in between of those words. Like, you will have to question things that aren't cursive. Now, for me, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist. I've never learned any of these things. Sure, I have an interest in it, but not more than to help myself, to be honest. But it is an interesting topic. And my mom was a licensed therapist, psychologist. Like, she had a diploma for that. She also was a parapsychologist. Like, I had a diploma for parapsychology. So I have, like, gotten to know a few pointers, but that doesn't mean that I actually know what I'm doing. Like, I will make deductions. I will talk to you about things that I, like, have experienced, things that I know around therapy, psychology, and stuff. But if you actually are looking for help, please visit a licensed psychologist or therapist or psychotherapist or whatever in your region. Like, talk to the real deal, because I'm not. I'm just interested in the topic. Okay, disclaimer over. Let's go into questioning Ellen. Okay, let's start off as usual. Let's get to know her. Who are you? Elin, a nurse. Kinda. A nurse. That's a hard job. Wow. Okay. What type of nurse are you? Because there are, like, different type of nurses, you know, and they might have, like, she might visit different types of struggles. Most nurses are continuously overworked. That's the standard. Oh, you couldn't hear the answer. Oh, because my game sound is off. Let's replay the answer for you.
I'm Elin. I'm 25 and I'm a nurse. God, I sound like I'm on one of those dating shows.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Anthelian. You should have heard it now. As you can see, by the way, on the response, there are now 2 orange stars. That means there is still main story after this. So there are different types of nurses. We all know that. Like, there are nurses that are specialized on children, work in children's hospitals, for example. There are palliative care nurses, just to name 2 options. Like, you've also got your standard hospital nurse and stuff. But the thing is, I don't know the specific namings for it, but there are, like, a ton of different options for nurses. And this might be good for her therapy to know. Okay, so now we actually got a new note. Sorry for writing in your notes. Say hello to Ellen for me and let her know that Terry called for her. I'll do so after a while, okay? Let's inform her. You know, let's get to know her. What type of nurse are you?
I work in a nursing home for the elderly. I basically do end-of-life care.
That's harsh. So I've got, like, a nursing home, like an end-of-life care home, immediately on the other side of the road. I can imagine that's harsh as fuck. Because, like, while you're, of course, always overworked and it's a hard job and everything, like, if you, go in and you constantly have to see people die, that's harsh. Because end-of-life care means you will be surrounded by death. End-of-life care also means you know how to kill. But then again, I think all the nurses know how to kill, so never upset a nurse, will ya? So yeah, that's harsh. But I can let her explain what is end-of-life care for you. Because this might hold a different meaning for her.
The usual things. Making sure the patients are comfortable. Making sure they're not in any pain.
Welcome.
And I talk to them. I keep them company. Some of them get pretty frightened about what's coming. Well, those of them that aren't out of it on meds. I comfort them.
So now 2 options. Either this broke her already and she thinks it's fun, or she has nerves of steel. You comfort them. So what we got out of this is we could ask her why some patients need to be out of it on meds. Because sure, we can't think of options, but it would be interesting to know if she is the one making that decision. but I'm not asking her, because if I ask her directly, she can easily just answer with, well, it's the doctor's thing. So poking a little bit around it and then finding out might be interesting. What also could be interesting is asking why the patients are frightened about what's coming. I mean, it's end of life care, so she's probably gonna tell us that they are afraid of death and dying. But then again, can lead through to us questioning her about how she is dealing with that specific fear. And of course, we could then also ask her if she is scared of death, or if she knows or has an idea on what she thinks is coming next, or does she even, like, is she religious? Does she even believe in anything coming after that? Because for some people, it is soothing to know nothing else comes after it. For some people, it's soothing to know that something comes after it. But those that think something comes after it are usually afraid of the negative repercussions. If you're like very religious and you believe in heaven and hell, and you have a reason to fear that you might get where you don't want to end up, for example, hell, because most of the time people want to go to heaven, because it's like heaven is portrayed as good and awesome, and hell is portrayed as like the worst ever, then you don't want to get into hell. And at some point you might start and find yourself questioning if you even did enough to deserve that. So while religion can really give them strength or a thing to hold on to, it can also become the opposite, and that can be a very fine line. So there are a lot of things we can find out around this topic, which is very interesting. So I'm gonna actually ask first why the patients are frightened, because I think this is the longer topic to go through first. So why are your patients, how do I write frightened? Frightened? Frightened, right?
Death is frightening, isn't it? Isn't it what everyone's afraid of? The great unknown.
Not really,
No
but
one
yeah.
should have to face that alone.
So, there are more things here. No one should face that alone. That is a very, very nice thing to say. And that is very true. It's nice to have somebody with you when you're facing something you're scared of, no matter what. As a nurse, she has a lot of control over what her patients can actually feel. Like, she can, and we get to that question now, she can put them on meds purposely to, you know, make them be out of it completely and not be frightened anymore. But if she does that, she's like actively using medication to, maybe in her sense, help patients. But there is a very fine line from going from this to end of life help, you know? From this type of end of life care, if you start using medication to help your patients get through it, there is a very fine line, I believe, to end of life help and support. AKA, like, basically killing somebody on their own willing, you know? But then is the thing, if the patients are out of it, are they even able to consent? Because I personally, this is a deep topic. Some countries have that. I don't know if the Netherlands had that, actually. I heard something about them talking about it, but I don't know if it's actually a thing. But Switzerland has that. In Switzerland, if you feel like you're at the end of your life and you want to get out of it in control, like in your own control, you can like get an end of life support. Let's call it that, because I know other words can be trigger words here. Yeah, see, the Netherlands also has this system. Germany doesn't have this system because in Germany it's still called murder. But the thing is, I think that system is very good. If you have like really the option to make your own choice, medical professionals making that choice as like after you made that choice, making that end as easy and nice as possible so you can just go on your own accord. but you also have like the entire way towards it with therapists and everyone really talking to you carefully, figuring out if that is actually what you want to do. And there are a lot of like elderly people that choose this to go on their own accord or go together sometimes. There are a lot of terminally ill people who probably would like this or do choose this. If it's like well maintained and you are really sure that person really knows what they are doing, like this is the entirely right last way for them, and you then give them an option to do it in a way that doesn't like go wrong, that can be very helpful. That can also be helpful for like everybody around them, because they can plan their end. They can go on and talk to everybody and say goodbye, and it will still be sad, but it can be a form of, you know, safety for the person themselves. Like, you still have control over everything. But it should be made hard, of course, because we want to know for sure that this is a thing, because you cannot reverse that. Like, you can literally not reverse that. Also, the person who does the support also has to, like, have psychological care. They have to have a very big support net as well for themselves, and they have to have some nerves of steel, because you're actively killing people. On their own accord, sure, but yeah. Basically, to be accepted, you need the following: a clear mind, an illness which will only get worse, and no cure. You don't need to be in pain for this onset of dementia, for example, if caught early is alleged reason. See, that's completely fair. Oh, that's how your grandma went. Well then, to be honest, good for her being able to make that decision. Because my stepmom was only frightened at the end. She was so scared. I've never seen a person so scared of death. Because she didn't know what was happening to her. She was constantly forgetting and then waking up in this state where she didn't know what is happening. And she, like, had end-stage dementia. Luckily she had, like, she came back to multiple rather clear moments at the end. Like, she was able to recognize her family, and that was good. I would have loved for her not to be scared, to be honest. And she was in a lot of pain, like her leg was dying before her. That is painful as fuck. Like, her body was literally already necrotic on points, and she was still alive and holding on because she was just so scared. That's a thing I don't wish for anyone. So I think having the option to go peacefully on your own accord is awesome. I really need to get myself together when I'm talking about my stepmom, because that was bad. With my mom, it was just bad to see her suffer. But she had... Like, my mom kind of went on her own accord. Belgium doesn't have that system to my knowing as well. Like, Belgium is just like Germany. We don't have that option, I think. Like, Germany definitely doesn't have it. My mom didn't have that option, but she still went on her own accord. Like, at some point, she noticed that she doesn't have long anymore. And she literally just wrote to, like, a couple of WhatsApp chats that she will die in 2 days. And nobody should be sad, and it's okay. Then she went to bed, and apparently she wasn't able to write more people because she kinda locked her phone by typing in the pin wrong multiple times. I don't know if she suddenly forgot, or if, you know, her body was already giving up to the point that she had no control over it anymore. But yeah, she was at least able to tell my stepdad to, like, get a hold of me. People were contacted, stuff was being told to everybody, and then she was just fighting to hold on, to give everybody an option to say goodbye. And she held on for like 2 more weeks, but she was basically... Like, she was okay with it. She said, I'm dying. I'm kinda, you know, but she was still there. And honestly, I wished for her not to be in pain. That was the thing. I couldn't help her with that. I wished I could have just reversed everything. But at some point, you know, I guess there was nothing to do. And she also didn't wish for a doctor to help her. So she was just like, no, this is my end. But she went way too early. And I know there were a lot of things that she still wanted to do, but she apparently, for herself, chose that this is enough. It's fine. But it's awesome if you can say, like, this is enough. I know that in Switzerland there are also a lot of elderly people that aren't, like, especially sick, but they know that they are, like, ending up being, you know, multimorbid at some point. Like, if you get older, there is this thing called multimorbidity, where you just, like, you get frickle, your body gets more and more ailments until the point that you die. That's not for everyone, but, you know, some people just want to avoid that, or say, like, I have nothing to do in this life anymore. I lived all my life. I'm, like, 90. We both want to go together. Let's do this. And then having somebody to induce that for you is completely nice. But it can become an issue if that willingness is not fully secured. That is what I'm finding out here, because she is not working as an end-of-life support, aka an active end-of-life support. She is working as a nurse caring for people that are close to their end. Now, not all of them might yet be that close to their end as people think. Like, for example, my mom thought she would die in 2 days, and she held on 2 more weeks, which I'm very thankful for. But you'll never know. What I kind of want to find out if she is what has been said in chat, an angel of death, aka a nurse that is not put in a position to do active end-of-life support, yet decides to do so. Because in that case, we're talking about murder. But the thing is, if it is murder or not, is still very hard to figure out. Because in some cases, it might not have been. In some cases, it might have been. And then the intention is what is most of the entire thing. Like, people that work in active end-of-life support, they do not have the intention to kill people. They just know they do this because of their will, blah. Yeah, was it a mercy kill or murder? But the thing is, mercy kill is murder if the person didn't consent to it, technically. And there is like, we are right now, we're psychologists. So I am working for the police, yes, but I mainly am working as a psychologist in this game. So my route is not to figure out, was that murder? My route is to figure out, would she be in a mindset to murder? Because, going back to the start of the game and the intention of the game, we find out about the murder of Dr. Dekker. If this patient is a nurse that actively ends her patients' lives because she thinks this is the correct way, there is a very, very, very easy step to go over to, I think you should die, you know? Because if you're used to doing this to tons of patients and people never caught you because it's like natural, or you just help them and you tell yourself constantly, I'm helping them by doing this, you're starting to lie to yourself to prevent your brain from thinking about the fact that you're actively murdering people, which is a thing we need to treat. But which is also a thing that might be a potential murder cause for Dekker. Because if she thought she has to help him, and all she does is helping him, it's still murder, but it's a different degree of murder because she definitely needs more care. That's like, that is such a big box over here. That is such a big box of stuff. So let's go. Why are your patients frightened again? I wanted to...
Death is frightening, isn't it? Isn't it what everyone's afraid of? The great unknown. No one should have to face that alone.
See, so that would show that she could be in for self-justification.
The usual things. Making sure the patients are comfortable. Making sure they're not in any pain. And I talk to them. I keep them company. Some of them get pretty frightened about what's coming. Well, those of them that aren't out of it on meds. I comfort them.
Well, do you comfort them with meds, though? I shouldn't ask direct questions like that, because in reality that would be that could feel very much like I am already making her out to be a bad person. So let's just go a little around it. Let's really just ask her, why are some patients, mimic her words, out of it on meds? We learned mimicking people, saying the same words, like mirroring them, induces trust, and we need her to trust us to open up to us.
I don't like it when patients are heavily sedated, especially when there are alternatives, like herbal remedies. I mean, imagine if you only had a few days or weeks left to live. Would you want to spend it asleep?
See, that is understandable. This might go against it, but like, I love that she is talking about herbal remedies. She's a nurse, so there is a high chance that she knows what she's doing. But how much of that has she actually studied? Because a lot of nurses do a lot of things better than doctors. For example, getting a shot, you know, drawing blood. Nurses do that every fucking day. They are way better than most doctors in this, because they have the experience. Doctors are the people that should be knowledgeable, that should have the information. And nurses usually act on most of what doctors know. What if she thinks she knows about herbal remedies, but in fact she doesn't, or not enough? Now, another thing of my mom, you will hear a lot of jobs about my mom, because she was awesome. Like, she was a psychologist, but she also was a studied herbalist. I don't know the actual word, but she had actually studied to actively work with herbal remedies, knew about most herbal remedies, and about their adverse effects as well. There is the same in medicine, by the way, because most medicine, or technically all medicine, is like derived from what we know from probably herbal medicine or nature, and the other part of it is like science, and what we found out makes herbal remedies way better. Or so, given that, you know, like, modern medicine has technically taken what we know out of herbal medicine and what science knows, put it together, and made it more efficient. So that's also why I usually was like, my mom was one of these, she dislikes using a lot of chemical stuff on bodies, which is completely her choice, and it's completely fine. Except for, like, if it has to be, if there is no better option that she knows, it's completely fine. But yeah, so, but she studied that, so she knew what she was doing. Now, if that nurse hasn't studied that, and she's just a fan of herbal remedies, which is completely fine, because a lot of herbal options are, like, way less taxing on your body, that can be good, you know? But, like, in herbal medicine, it is way easier to go wrong and kill a person by accident. Because, like, even in medicine, we always have to weigh risk against benefit, you know? If the risk is too high for the benefit you're getting, that's, by the way, one of the reasons there is still no contraceptive, like, no hormonal pregnancy prevention on the, on the side that has a dick, on the considered male side. When we would get sick as kids, she would help us with different herbal teas and actually does wonders. Yeah, depending on the tea and all. I mean, there are a lot of things like Camilla and stuff that really do not do a lot of bad things to you. They just help. There are a lot of alcoholics that also help, like herbal alcohol. I've gotten that since I was a little child. I think that's one of the reasons why I have some tolerance. Hormonomet can permanently kill seed production, trust me, I know. Yeah, they can. The thing is, for guys, like, it has... Let's just take guys. I'm gonna easily go do women and men, because usually this isn't really tested on trans people. This isn't usually really tested on non-binary people, or, you know, anything that doesn't have a binary identity. So I'm just gonna go with what, like, medicine uses for testing right now, and they are using, like, cis people. For guys in testing, the contraceptive method, or like hormonal contraception, has caused like a lot of adverse effects, like headaches, nausea, emotional distress, stomach aches, blah blah blah, like a lot of adverse effects. They all seem like it's nothing to a cis woman taking these, but for a cis man, there's like a real lot of risks to go through just to have useless soldiers, just to be able to cream pie somebody without making them pregnant. So, and that's where medicine says the risk is still too high for the benefit, because the benefit is quite low. Because the other risk that they would avoid, like the benefit they would get out of it, is they avoid becoming a parent. But becoming a parent for them is like not physically painful, you know? It's not physically tied to a lot of other adverse effects. While, until I heard creep by Atlas. So, while for, let's say examples, this woman, or like simply people who are able to bear children, for them, a hormonal contraceptive method has all these negative effects that men, like cis men, for example, in those tests have experienced, but they do not outweigh the positive effect. Like the positive thing for you as a person who's able to bear children, as a person with a uterus, is you won't get pregnant. And pregnancy has such a long list of risks and issues and pain and problems that it really by long ways outweighs the adverse effects of birth control. So fun fact, it's just the cis men that have been the control group most of the time, they had like similar, if not the same, but very similar negative effects from birth control, from hormonal birth control. But the risk is too high for them because they are having more adverse effects than bonus from it. So of course, some people, like some cis women, I hear some cis women often say like they shouldn't cry so quickly, like we are dealing with that every time. Yeah, we are, but we're also gaining way more from it. They are not gaining as much from it, which is the sad truth. It is completely understandable for me, from a like neutral standpoint, that having this much adverse effects for like literally not a lot of bonus is just nothing I would do. As like a person with a uterus myself, if it were like that, I wouldn't do it. But it's not like that. We're still talking about people with different bodily aspects. People without a uterus would have like way too much adverse effects of the same type of contraception. That's why they are still looking into it, by the way. Maybe one day there will be a contraceptive method for people who do not have a uterus, who are like on the providing end. I am heck, you smarties. I like you. Ah, thank you. I'm just, I'm just listening to a lot of doctors and stuff. This knowledge, by the way, that I'm currently sharing with you is stuff that I heard from like 2 doctors on YouTube, which might discredit this for a lot of people, but they are both like officially licensed practicing doctors. One of them is a OBGYN. It's Mama Dr. Jones. If you don't know her and you're interested in like gynecology stuff, she's awesome. Plus she's very inclusive. She doesn't care what gender you have, as long as you have a uterus and the part she needs to look at, you have to go to her. That's her statement. I love that. And Dr. Mike, because those 2 really research their stuff and they end up correcting themselves if they find out about it. So just so you know where I got my information, is either that or my actual practicing doctors that I have, but like most often it's those 2 because they give me extra information that's kind of interesting. Although not entirely sure, this presents as a risk more to men since men's hormonal cycle occur more frequently than women's do, so it affects men's bodies more. Yeah, what I heard about men is like, or like cis men, I'm gonna just say cis men because I cannot speak for other genders, because that's not where I got definite information of. But like cis men do have like this thing where their hormonal balance is like quite the same all the time. While for cis women, and I'm only speaking for cis women here because there are a lot of things that change, but I can also not speak for all cis women here, because as soon as you do not have a uterus anymore, you might have been a cis woman from the start, you know, everything, but as soon as you don't have a uterus anymore for whatever reason, that might not apply to you anymore. Or if you're past your menopause and stuff, that might be different. But what I know for most women is like the cycle has a lot of ups and downs. So yeah, that is also a different thing. You know, the first hormonal contraception killed a lot of women, and they were willing to take the risk because it was still enough of a benefit. Let that sink in. They personally, a lot of them, were aware of the risk and were like, we're still doing this. Bitch, yes, let's go. We've gone a long way from that. Pregnancy is a bitch, okay? Especially with all the risks around it. It can be so nice, sure. If you want a family, if you want to have children, it can be so nice and everything, but yeah. The ultimate for science. Yeah, can confirm that men do have a cycle. Notice because I am on age RT and the cycle becomes way more clear. Yeah. Being a human being sucks. Yeah, most of the time it does. For example, I have hormonal plasters. I don't need them to balance my hormones. They are actually unbalancing my hormones. They are actually giving me a ton of adverse effects. Like, I'm lucky that these work well for me, but I still have the issue that they really make my lipedema skyrocket. So my lipedema had way more of a breakout since I used these, which basically means I'm gaining weight without being able to stop it. It's so hard of me to lose kilograms. I would need to get off of my hormonal plaster, but I only use it for contraception, and that is still enough of a bonus, you know? So I'm a dinosaur. Atlas, yes, perfect idea. There's more ways to cuddle. I would gladly say yes, but the thing is, lipedema is painful. I've got it on my upper arms and on my entire legs, and it's painful, and it impairs my movement, and I can only get rid of it while liposuction, and a liposuction or a liposuction is considered a beauty operation. As such, it is not covered by insurance. So the only way that can actually relieve this pain and this problem costs me more than 10,000 euro. So, bruh. And I have to battle my fear of operations and syringes. And my fear of syringes is very paralyzing, so... Or no, rather, it's not that paralyzing. I start hitting people. Or I just pass out. I mean, that's the easy version, because then I pass out and it just gives me the syringe and everything's fine. But it's still bad, because stuff can happen when I pass out, and I will not be able to, like, confirm stuff. So, yeah, like, it's just bad. So, yeah, we got a little off topic here. So let me get back to why some patients out of it on meds. She was talking about herbal remedies, right? And then she asked me if I would like to be asleep. I don't think I would. If I knew my end was coming, I wouldn't like to be asleep. I would want to do all the shit that is possible for me, I think. Cause then I can just go fuck it, you know? We're just gonna redo the collab at some point and have Lady Danica be in it. Barry, your Riz was too good, so that's why you are in horny jail to still for what is straight up a hentai scene. No! We're wearing a hentai scene! We knew the end was coming with punch, death, and a dick, or vagina. Could be female. Could be both. Actually, Atlas. Either death has no gender at all, like no parts, cause fucking skeleton, or both. You know, I like the idea of just death being a fucking skeleton and as such has no gender at all, like nothing. There exists nothing. While angels have both, or God has both. That would be such an awesome idea. Cause like, you know, like religion, those people usually say like men as in like humans. Back then you would say men for humans, but like humans are made as a, like in the face of God, you know? That's what most of these religions say. I'm not religious myself, but I'm interested in those things. Like if I meet a religious person, they are not trying to convert me. but they love to talk about it. I'll ask them all the questions. And that's like a thing that seems to be consistent in all religions, that humans were made in the face of God or after the face of God, so are apparently not as good as the real deal. So that prompts the question, you know, if we were actually parted up to, in idea of those religions, if we were actually parted up because God like just divided their like own being, that means that a existence like God or gods might be including all potential genders. Like they have all sexualities, they have all genders, everything. Humanity as a whole has as options and possibilities all in one entity. So technically, basically, God or gods as an entity, as entities, are LGBTQ+. That's the logic behind it. That's the logic. Every religion should be LGBTQ+. I don't know why they haven't gotten that. I mean, I've once seen like there's one person being like, God is pro-life, and then somebody going out to them and being like, if God's pro-life, then why did the flood happen? And it's just silence. Atlas, if you use that argument on homophobes that are homophobe for a religious reason, be aware that this might come off as rude. Because people usually think you're rude if they feel like they are dumb. It's a win for you nonetheless, but, you know, let this be known. You know, then again, if they are homophobes, they have been rude to you potentially as well, so whatever. I just love it when, like, people tell me they see two men or two women, like, optically, two men and two women kiss on an ad, and they're like, this has been shoved into my face. Don't shove it into my face. Do it somewhere behind bars, you know? I'm like, bruh, what's with all the ads where cis people kiss? What's with that? Like, I literally had that with that convo with a person once. He said, like, but my children don't have to see that. I'm like, so you're never kissing your wife in front of your children? Well, of course I am. That's normal. What's with a woman that is kissing her wife in front of your children? Yeah, my children don't have to see that. It's like, just because you watch lesbian porn to get off to doesn't mean your child will. They come with the stupidest arguments, and they really think they are in the right because they have grown up with this ideal. They have grown up with homosexuality being a kink. That's bad. That's just bad. We just need to hold on. There will be more and more and more generations coming that are LGBTQ+ or allies, and we just have to hold on until those generations are the superiority and homophobia is the minority. Like, change takes ages. Change goes a long way. I don't even know if I'll be able to live as long as it takes to see this reversed. But we're doing a good job. Anyway, let's go. So Herbal Remedies and asked me if I would want to sleep through it. And as I said, no, I wouldn't want to, so we have to answer their questions as well. Builds trust, feels for them like we're opening up to them as well. Plus, if I say no, I might also subsequently say yes to her thought process, because she seems also to not want that. So if we are on the same page here, she feels like she is more understood. So I'm gonna say no, I don't like to sleep through it, or I would not like to sleep through it. By the way, I'm actually making notes so I can keep this game in my head, because I'm actually playing psychologist here. So, no, I will not like to sleep through it.
Exactly. I feel like it's almost criminal. Like you're robbing people of their last moments on Earth.
Fair.
You should be able to savor the experience, not sleep your way to death.
Yeah, that's just the Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker in my stream. I'm gonna replay that. Let that last sentence, or let those last couple of sentences sink in, okay? Okay? Because, you know, I said I would want to do shit. As much shit I can do.
Exactly. I feel like it's almost criminal. Like you're robbing people of their last moments on Earth.
Now.
You should be able to savor the experience, not sleep your way to death.
Am I the only one that thinks this is kinda off-putting? Yeah, Danthelion, exactly that. When I die, I hope it's like a light switch. Just dead. I feel that. Yeah, savor the experience. What experience are we talking about? Pain? Panic? Chaos? Sadness? Waiting games? Hopelessness? What type of experience are we talking about here? Like lady, would you want to savor the experience?
I'm not saying anyone should be happy about dying. I've seen lots of people die, and it's a special moment. There's literally nothing else like it.
She is on a good path to be glorifying death. I mean, I love murder mystery series and stuff, and I love like psychological horror. I love all these true crime things. She just rings so many of these bells. Couldn't find the light switch and death found it for him. That's a beautiful thing to say, honestly. That's kind of funny. My grandpa had this funny thing that he survived 7 strokes, got back to all of it, like he learned talking again, he learned caring for himself again, he was caring for himself again. It was all getting better again, and then he fell off the stairs. But for him, the last moment before death seemed to be good, because his wife died early on. He never found another mate. That was his one and only love, apparently. They knew each other from very young. She died very early. And he smiled. At the end, apparently, he smiled. He said the name of his late wife and looked at the end of his bed and was smiling. So I suppose for him, she was standing there. If that makes you cry a little, I can understand, because it does for me. Because I'm kind of happy for him to be able to have like this picture in his mind before he goes. Like for him, no matter if any truth is in there, she picked him up. That must have been very nice. So at least something, even though he fell off the stairs, which is kind of bad. My grandma was also cool. My grandma had a lot of friends in high places. I've never seen so many politicians in one space when he was buried. It was like a very small burial, technically, but it was so overfilled. There were so many people. They were standing outside, waiting. Those were people with security on them. I never knew. Like the extent of friends and an impact my granddad apparently had, I never knew until he died. I mean, I was able to say goodbye to him long ago. Like, he was saying goodbye over years. You know, this thing when old people start to give everything away they own because they're kind of preparing for death and you're starting to accept it. I didn't have to mourn him afterward, but I did feel like I was about to cry when the priest that studied under my grandpa, actually, because my grandpa was a very religious person. He was like very high up in the church, which is one of the reasons that his grave will be indefinitely maintained by the church. This thing will not go away. Nobody has to pay for it. It will be indefinitely maintained by the church. To our luck. When he read a passage of the Bible that was apparently the favorite passage of my granddad, and I never knew, but I had to like fight tears because it's the same passage that I always liked. Because I read the Bible just out of interest. The Old Testament is a bit cooler because it's more fucked up, but like in general, I was a bit confused by the entire story. Like the flow of the story is a little fucky, but that also may be due to the way it's written and translated and stuff. So I don't know if the original story was nice, but it is a bestseller, so let's keep that. It's the part where you have like this little sentence, if you wander through the... I don't know if that's the English translation, but if you wander through the dark, do not be afraid, because I'm with you. And he fucking read that as the favorite sentence, or the sentence my grandpa wanted to say, wanted to read. I had to fight back tears, because I never knew we had that same favorite sentence. So, and I'm not religious. I continue to say I'm not religious. I'm agnostic. I prefer science. I will not say that God doesn't exist because I don't know. I have nothing to prove it, I have nothing to disprove it. But I'm like wary, you know? I'm like on a kind of neutral standpoint. Maybe that's the feeling she's talking about, that last moment where a patient should feel comfort in going out, hence the herbal stuff to calm patients for some cases. Let's hope it's that. Because if she's glorifying death, that's an issue. Like she was talking about herbal remedies, right? Let's go to the herbal remedies. You mentioned herbal remedies.
I'm a qualified herbalist.
Oh, she's qualified.
It's
okay.
You can laugh.
So she should know.
Most people think herbalism is a joke. But I'd much rather help my patients sleep at night with valerian or passion flower than lorazepam, temazepam, or zolpidem.
Well, that's a bit like my mom then. Because my mom was basically like she had that same qualification. So she actually should know what she's doing. Which, if this ends up badly, is another thing we need to know. So, we're that. She should know that herbs can be dangerous if used wrongly. By the way, same for medication. Medication can be dangerous. Everything you do in that regard can be dangerous. But, you know, we talked about risk and benefit before. So, I'm gonna ask her the same question. Can herbs be dangerous? To find out if she... how her standpoint is for this, because the way she answered this question will give me more insight about her personality.
Traditional medicine makes patients worse sometimes, don't you think?
She should know too well.
All the time, doctor. You take one pill, then have to take 5 other pills to deal with the side effects. Herbs are
sometimes, yeah.
Obviously, you have to be careful, just like with everything. Giving the wrong combination can be deadly. Fortunately, I know what I'm doing.
She's right. Giving the wrong combination or too much, you know, or wrongly prepared can mean death. And Thelian, you say it would be scary if she knows too well. I'd say it is good if she knows too well. Because you should know how to kill a person with medicine if you are to help a person with medicine. It's my personal opinion. Every doctor knows how to kill you. As such, let that sink in also. You know, never make a doctor mad. They all know how to kill you. Never make a nurse mad. They all know how to kill you. That's what they need to know to help you. She sees them as a better option. Now is the question, how does she deal with them? Plus she's a nurse, so I can imagine this must be stressful for her. So yeah, we talked a little bit about what she does, what she can do, that she is like a licensed herbalist and everything. I might not be the end of your life, but I might be the end of your life as you know it. No, don't worry, I won't do anything like that. Also, it would be way too much work. Like, it's in my field of work, that's not easy. I still have to note that Terry called. I'm going through my notes right now. But we've talked a little bit about the thing around it. So she talked about death, right? I'll see if we can pick that up at a good moment later. My idea with the entire thing is to now ask her why she's actually here. Because, of course, we can think of her job as being a problem. But it's better for us to listen to her own description of her problem. So, what problem are you here for, I'd say?
I started seeing Dr. Dekker a few months ago. I thought it would be nice to have someone I could talk to about work. It can get a bit stressful sometimes.
Yeah, she's a nurse. I can understand, but I'll still question her through it. Because even if you do understand, or think you understand, most of the time it can still be different from what people actually feel. Some will straight up just tell you no you don't, which is a thing I am not too sure about if that is always the right way, because you may have had experiences that they don't know about. I've had that once in a very specific situation where I have had a very specific experience for, so I could imagine how problematic that experience right now was because of a past experience of mine being like basically the same. So it was like, well, I can imagine in trying to like support them, but the only answer I got was a very agitated, no you don't! I'm like, I might not look like it, but I have worked in healthcare, okay? I have dealt with panicky patients. I can imagine at least a couple of situations, okay? Not all of them, sure, but you don't know my history, but I decided to just say, well then, sorry, and leave it be, because, you know, that person didn't seem to be, didn't seem to want to be understood at that very moment. She was just angry and needed to, get it out, and I guess that's the thing. I mean, I have that too. Some people feel like they are disrespected when you do that, because they are very much thinking this is a problem unique to them, which is completely fine. You know, there's always a possibility that whatever problem you're facing has been faced with somebody else somewhere else as well. It's still unique to you and how you are experiencing it, but the problem itself might not be new. I was still sorry I made her angry though. I didn't want to do that. The thing I did, because I had seen it so much and mimicked it, backfired on me. And it took me a deep dive of 8 hours into those matters to understand. So, what problem are you here for? It can get stressful, she said. So, let's just ask, does it get stressful? Sometimes.
I don't know anything about that.
Does it not? Is it stressful?
No, sorry.
Either that, or it's not yet the moment to do it. So maybe this is a good moment that I've got to talk to her about Terry. Why does it get stressful?
It can be sad sometimes.
Perfect, Anthelian!
I don't like losing a patient.
Thank you.
But that's the job. I don't get stressed about it or anything.
You don't get stressed about it, but you said it because you were stressed about it. Wait, I asked her why does it get stressful, and this is her answer?
It can be sad sometimes.
Sad.
I don't like losing a patient. But that's the job. I don't get stressed about it or anything.
Don't get stressed. So wait, so you don't get stressed. Why are you here?
It's not the job that stresses me. It's the people I work with. The other nurses. They're mean to me.
They are? That's okay, that's bad. Bullying and on the job is bad. Bullying in general is bad. So no bully, you know, but it's actually not, yeah. It feels contradicting at first. I had the same idea, but it is not a contradiction. It is just another thing at work that makes it stressful for her. I'm gonna dive into this first. So, how are the other nurses mean? Oh, it's a mechanical keyboard made for this shit,
They call me the Angel of Death because so many patients have died on my shift. I don't think they mean it. Obviously, it's not my fault. It just seems to happen that way.
Da 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 da! Who of you in chat said Angel of Death earlier? Was it Danthelion? Da 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 da! Same phrasing! Was you Danthelion? I have heard that excuse before. Yeah, it could be one, you know? She did say a couple of unsettling things around it. Like, let me just get into numbers here. How many patients have died on your shift?
3 last month. 3 the month before that, I think. But only 1 so far this month, so that's good.
So 2 more to go.
Although one of my patients, Hilda, I don't think she's got long.
Once Hilda has done, only 1 more to go. Coincidence, sure. I love that, like, only 2 more to go on, and she's like, well, we got Hilda. Target acquired, yeah! Like, let's ask a bit, like, who is Hilda?
She's one of the crotchety ones. Always swearing and spitting at me. Never got anything nice to say. Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep or something. She doesn't bother me, though.
If she's that active, how does she know she doesn't have long anymore? Is there a specific cat that is always sitting on her lap now, or what? The cat thing, by the way, if you don't know, there are a lot of animals that are said to know when somebody's dying. Cats often do the same. And there are some hospitals throughout the world that, like, have some cats around, especially in end-of-life care. And they kind of notice that the cat seems to spend most time with the patients that are starting to die. There are hospitals who utilize that. Because apparently there is a different type of smell coming from those people that attracts the cat. Or something. I don't know. But I heard that a lot. So that's why I said it. Okay, so Hilda is one of the crotchety ones. Seems like an active one. Let's ask her just. Let's ask her. Like, are you the angel of death? Is that what, you know? Is that what you yourself believe?
They're old. People die when they're old. I mean, medically speaking, it's heart failure or organ failure or pneumonia. They're all natural causes, though.
They can all be caused by herbal remedies or by normal medicine, though. And not everything that causes it can be easily found. Not all of the people will be definitely looked into, especially if it's expected, you know? Just leaving those thoughts out there. There's also a thing, like, I don't know if all of you are aware, but not everybody that dies is actually being looked into. If there is no reason to do so, if there's no reason to check the patient's actual cause of death, they won't. They will just assume what is close to. Especially in, like, these care situations where there are already a lot of infos on there, and they have reason to believe it is X or Y. People have to be actually, like, people have to actually have a cause to cut a person like a dead person open and check their being, like, check their cause of death. If you make it so that there is no need to, they won't never know. They will never know. Why should they know? They will never know. Like, she said she's okay with it all. I could talk about Dr. Dekker. Still need that. What was the name again? Aileen? It's kind of a nice name. Maybe get on their good side? Maybe get on her good side? Maybe... I'm just asking about Dekker, because that is my main goal.
I've known a lot of doctors over the years. Most of them arrogant idiots who think nurses are just there to do their bidding, or worse. Dr. Dekker was different. He had a lot of time for me. He was interested in my problems.
So, Dr. Dekker wasn't arrogant.
Well, yes, that's true.
He was
But still,
arrogant.
it was nice to be listened to.
I mean, did you like Dr. Dekker?
He was a bit offbeat, but yeah, I liked him.
But one of the few. Most seem to hate him.
People.
I like most people, except for Hilda. Hilda needs to die. Okay. What did you say? 3 months? How long have you been seeing Dr. Dekker? 3 months, right?
I'd been seeing him for about 9 months, I think.
She said 3 months earlier.
I started seeing Dr. Dekker a few months ago.
Hilda's a great enemy. Hilda killed Dr. Dekker! Confirmed! Easy, okay, game done. So, what do you know about Dr. Dekker's... Do you do that with an apostrophe or without? I think with, right? Murder.
I think it's terrible what happened to him. So awful. No one deserves to die like that.
How do they deserve to die?
I haven't really got anything to say about that. Maybe
Okay.
we should talk about you.
About me? Yeah, no. Well, wait, talk about me?
I don't know. I feel like I'm the weakest link or something.
Nah, you aren't. It's me. So, she said Dekker was a good listener. So, do people usually not listen to you?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. My patients listen to me. But then I suppose they haven't got much choice.
I still have a feeling the way she said Aileen. Like, let me scroll through this. The way she said Aileen was kind of special to me. Because I thought she said Ellen. Like, I thought her name was Ellen. But then she said Aileen, right? She kind of did a German pronunciation.
I'm Aileen. I'm 25 and I'm a nurse. God, I sound like I'm on one of those dating shows.
So, now the usual way to get people to talk about their name is a very easy question. Or is a very easy statement. Aileen is a pretty name. I want to know if they actually thought about this. Because, you know, if you talk to people, they have like an unusual name or something, you might be interested in where their name is coming from. An easy way to get them to talk about their name is simply complimenting them on it. You do 2 things at once. Like, it's like really hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. You kinda make them happy because they got a compliment on their name, and it seems to be like names are usually important to people. That is why some of us change them to fit us better. And you get eventually to know something about the name. I've been doing this my entire life, it works.
Apparently it's a Welsh name. I'm not Welsh. My mum's into all that new age stuff, and I think she thought it would make me seem more interesting.
That new age stuff? What do you mean?
New age. Like auras and healing energy, crystals and all that. It's not really my thing.
That's not new age, to be honest. My mom did that too, and she was old. Like, not old enough, but old. Let's just talk a little bit about her, okay? Like, she does a lot about work. Do you like your work?
Yes, I love my job. I love my patients. Even the really crotchety ones, you know? Oh God, you should hear what comes out of their mouths. But they're like my children in a way. That sounds weird, doesn't it?
Not really, but do you have children?
I don't have any kids. Maybe I will one day, I don't know. At the moment, all my energy is focused on taking care of my patients.
Well, if you cannot have kids, do you like animals? Because, you know, a lot of people just want a kid to have something to take care of, and that's usually where I point them to animals.
I love animals, especially cats. I think everyone is either a cat person or a dog person. What are you, Doctor?
I'm both. I don't know what to answer. Should be I'm both. It's probably not clear enough, so I'm either a dog or a cat person. Let's say Heads is a dog person, Tails is a cat person. Let's go. I guess I'm a dog person today.
Dr. Dekker was a dog person.
Oh!
Maybe it's a therapist thing.
I like both, yeah, but the thing is, they usually, like the game told you at the beginning, they want a yes or a no combination. For questions that patients ask you. Answer with yes or no and a thing. And if it's an either or question, I need to like give a specific answer. Can just not do both. I'm definitely both. I love big dogs. I love cats. I've had 10 cats, like 8 to 10 cats. I've had 8 of them at the same time. I've had 10 cats. And I've had like 2 to 3 dogs. Like I'm saying 2 to 3 because the third was only living with us for like a couple of years and then I moved out. But I like animals in general. I had a horse. We had a ton of fishes and catfishes. I love catfishes. And you know, I kept a spider in my bathtub for a week when I was 14 years old and being alone at home. We had a bathtub and a shower, so I did actually shower for the entire week, and I had like a huge spider in the bathtub. Like it was really big. I maybe still have pictures somewhere. It was like the palm of my hand big. It was while we were living in Austria. I kept it in my bathtub, I gave it a name, and when my parents came home, it was gone. It's not like I fed it though, I only gave it water. I didn't know what it ate, you know? I just put a little bit of water close to it. I don't know if it ever drank. It was definitely alive, it moved around. I don't know when or how much spiders eat or what, so... And it wasn't really caged, so it could have gone away. Or my parents brought it out or something. So, being a dog person is especially a Dr. Dekker thing. We found out. So the thing is, she doesn't seem sad about death. She actually seems kind of happy about death. Are you getting that same feeling, like savor the experience and everything? Let's ask her about that, or let's make that statement. I'm gonna ask her. Are you... Oops, caps. Are you happy about death?
No, I don't like it. I feel lucky to share that moment with them. To be there with them when it happens. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I know what I mean, what you mean, to be honest. Like you can feel like it's special that you get to share a moment like that with them. They trust you enough or something. But lucky? Are you really lucky to see people die? Do you like seeing people die? Let's find out what she actually thinks about death, okay? Are you scared of death?
No, death doesn't scare me. It's probably because I've been around it so much, but I haven't seen anything that's made me feel like it's something to fear. I don't think death is an end. I think it's a doorway to another place. I'm just not sure where. Where do you think we go when we die, Doctor?
I mean, maybe we go to hell.
Hell isn't real. Whoever came up with that idea has a lot to answer for.
I don't know, they probably saw a place that was hellish as fuck and thought like this must be the afterlife or something. I mean, opposite, maybe we go to heaven.
I don't believe in God, so I can't really claim to believe in heaven.
Fair. You don't believe in God. Okay, that was a question already answered. Wasn't there... Isn't it usually sometimes also called purgatory?
I thought I was stuck in purgatory once. But then I realised I was just watching a really, really bad film.
Reincarnation, Dantillion, right?
Sorry. I'm terrible at jokes.
Maybe we are reincarnate.
I've never really got the idea of reincarnation. I mean, are you still you? Do you know you're still you? And if not, how does that even work?
There are people that think that you kinda forget who you are to have a new start. but you're able to tap into experience from previous lives. There are people that believe that. There are people that believe that you just go through it all again from the start to have a fresh set of experience, then add it to your entire being. So after you die, you can like look through it and maybe you learned from it and maybe you can, you know, return to Krishna or something. That's one belief I know. Like, Krishna eats being like, you return, like your ultimate goal is to return to Krishna. But for that you have to forsake like worldly pleasures and stuff, and you have to understand that this is tying you down and stuff. That's also an interesting standpoint, I must say. I am reading a book about that. Like, some of these things are very nice, like as everyday lessons. Some of these are just not for me, which is fine. Like, that's just what religion is, you know? I like the chants there, but I grew up with those chants. Like, I'm reading a book and I'm like, oh, I know these chants. I sung a lot of them as a child because it was like something that stuck in my head and it was kind of comfortable to sing. You know, the name I use here, ylfasmoll, Ylfa, is an Icelandic name. It's like derived from wolf, from Ulf, you know? And then from Ylva, and then the Icelandic version, Ylfa. I am fully aware that it has nothing to do with the fox, but wolves are my favorite animal. I cannot do anything against that. But with all my character is fox just fits best. You know, maybe there is more infos. Maybe we go to Valhalla.
I don't really know what that is. Something to do with Vikings, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, she asked. Valhalla is Norse.
Oh, well, there you go. You learn something new every day.
They actually have an answer for that! That's awesome! What the heck? I like Norse mythology and stuff, personally. Let's go, I've got Norse. Ask me where we go when we die. Heaven? Valhalla! Oh my! That's cool! That's so cool! I can think of a half dozen more. Yeah, no, I cannot. I cannot think of more, actually. Well, no, wait. My mom was also talking about the universe, always. And, you know, I'm from the universe. Maybe she believes that we become one with the universe again. I don't know where souls go, by the way. That was never the thing I concerned myself with. So, maybe we become one with the universe. I mean, your wishes do. Power of your wishes is fucking strong. That's why I exist.
Maybe. Maybe we go somewhere completely beyond what we can imagine.
Ah.
We're only humans after all. We can't possibly comprehend what's really out there.
Well, you can try. People are trying. Humans strive to know. Knowledge is power. I mean, maybe nothing happens after death.
Well, that's bleak, but I don't believe it.
So, you believe in an afterlife?
When someone says afterlife, it just makes me think of wispy figures floating around in a white haze, like you get in those New Age posters. I don't really go for all that.
But the universe really stuck with her, huh? She likes that idea. But I actually cannot think of more, actually. The note says a dozen more, but I cannot. For the life of me, I cannot. Let's just go to the note. I got a note that a person named Terry called.
Terry's one of the other nurses at the home.
Oh.
I don't
Did
think
Hilda
she
die?
likes me very much.
Did Hilda die? No. Okay, what does it say here? Who are you?
Lynn. I'm 25 and I'm a nurse. God, I sound like I'm on one of those dating shows.
Okay, so we never questions the dating shows and it's cursive. So you mentioned dating shows.
I'm not really looking for love at the moment. I'm sort of married to my work, but in a good way.
That was the last thing we needed! She's green! Oh my god! That was surprisingly easy pickings. She's green! We already did all of her! She feels like she's married to her work, but then okay, she told her she loves her work, so that makes sense. That just goes full circle again. Woo! Awesome! Only took us 2 hours with Aileen. We could go to Nathan though. I want to go to Nathan, then I have all on green. And like I remembered, I kind of looked into this before. I played it ages ago, but I never finished it. I think like this is just the first work through, and then you get like either the patients get reset and you can ask them more questions, or you get new patients, but I don't remember actually what happens. And I only remembered like the extra hour thing and Mariana sleepwalking thing. Like, it's not really sleepwalking. I don't know what she does actually. Like Mariana passing out thing. So yeah, Nathan time, I suppose. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the same as always. Who are you? I will replay the last 2 questions. Sorry. Yeah, right. The sound.
I'm Nathan Peel. I'm a supermarket worker from, well, hell, really.
And then I asked, what is hell? Sorry for the scuff.
I imagine what I'm experiencing now might be a type of hell. Not everyone burns in flames with the devil on their back. I'm hoping you can make sense of my problem.
What is your problem?
It's like those montages you get in movies. Time passes, you wake up, shave, if you feel like it, shower, get dressed. What's the point? You get this day over and over, nothing changes. Am I in purgatory, Doctor?
How often did we have this conversation for you already, dude? I'm so sorry about that. What kind of montage though? Exactly. Tell me more about that. Why is that a thing he uses to explain?
Most of my days a blur. I'm not sure if it's the sleeping tablets I'm on or just how I've learned to switch off.
You use sleeping tablets?
I'm on temazepam. Dr. Dekker prescribed them for me. He thought I would sleep through to a whole new day. I didn't.
Well, I mean, that can also be a thing that he thinks is happening. You know, if you have a specific type of job and you do the same things over and over and over again each day, it might feel it's just the same every day. It might feel like you're just looping. So we'll find out if it's just a feeling or if he's actually looping. We've got some interesting patients here with the extra hour and this one. So you live or relive the same day over and over again.
I watched that Bill Murray film, Groundhog Day, to see if there's
That's
any
a good
clues.
one. It's a good film.
If there's any clues. That's how bad it's gotten. I'm looking for a cure in a Hollywood movie. Can you help me, Doctor?
I don't know how he actually got out of it in that movie. Like, I've been a child when I watched it, so it's old. Groundhog Day. It's old. It's a guy that just relives the same day again and again and again, and at the start it's kind of funny and he starts doing interesting stuff, you know, and try stuff, but it becomes a curse real quick and he just starts to try and get out of it, but it kind of doesn't work. I don't know how it ended though anymore. Yes, I will try my best to help. Mainly because I need your trust, so you can tell me what I need to know about Dr. Dekker.
I don't know how, but thank you, Doctor. This is our first time around, and I trust you.
You're reliving the same day again and again and again and again, yet this is our first time around. So it's possibly really a mental thing. Because if it's the same day, he would still be with Dekker. He would still be with Dekker. Even if his mental state makes him relive the same day, he would see Dekker instead of me. That could be a potential thing. But instead, he still sees me. He says it's our first time around. So not everything in his day loops. So it may just be the feeling of everything happening again and again and again. Yet this is a very present problem for him. We need to find out what actually is happening again and again, and find out a way for him to break out of his mental looping. Because no matter how mental it is, this is a real problem for the patient, you know? Because that's how we're gonna treat it. You never treat somebody or you never help somebody by telling them their problems aren't real. That is the same as telling somebody with depression to just try and laugh a little more. You know, smile a little more. That has never helped anybody. We're here to help. So let's find out more about him. What do you think is wrong with you? Okay, so that just leads to the same answer. Why do you think of this as purgatory?
Because I'm stuck between this day and the next. Most of the time, anyway.
Most of the time, okay, so it doesn't happen always. That's good to hear. Why does nothing change?
Sometimes it looks different. Sometimes the birdsong will change, or the weather will be less bleak, or that person who nodded at you yesterday doesn't do it today. But it doesn't usually change. You need a tragic event for change, like a murder.
The murder of Dr. Dekker. Da-da-dun! So, this really looks like he's experiencing heavy problems with the fact that most humans are people who repeat the same tasks over and over again. And for a lot of people, repetitive live tasks or repetitive things in their lives is something they don't like or something they cannot deal with. While for others, it's a way to secure their life, to secure their way of life and feel safe in their life. So let's see. So a tragic event.
I didn't see the driver. It was my fault. I pulled out and the lorry just rammed me. Well,
Oh.
Hannah. She was sat next to me. I was in shock, obviously. And when I came to, she was so close to me. It was like she was trying to hug me. But it wasn't right. Not natural. Bits of metal pushing through her. That was 5 years ago.
How long have you been in a loop?
You asked me that yesterday. I didn't have an answer for you then either.
But this is the first time we meet, bro. Well, 5 years is a long time.
I was fine for quite a while after the accident. Well, being treated for depression. I thought I was cured. It was only recently after meeting Dr. Dekker that I had a strange deja vu. I'm exhausted. Doctor, is our time up?
No, it's not. Go on for a little longer. So, mourning is a very interesting thing because everybody does it differently. Sometimes the conditions need to be met for you to be unable to be mourning. I noticed that with my mom when she died at the beginning of this year. I first was able to go on, just work normally. I expected myself to be able to just shrug it off because that's how I usually deal with death, easily. And I was able to say goodbye, so I know it would make me sad for a while, but not for so long. So I thought, like, sure, this is my mom and this will hit me harder. But at first it kind of didn't. And I kind of wanted to, like, take my time for it. but I never got the time because I need time for myself, and everybody was making sure that I had no time alone, which was an issue because I couldn't mourn, so I was fleeing into work. That caused two things: me being overworked again, because that happens easily due to burnout, and it caused the fact that I couldn't mourn the death of my mother until the summer came, until like a couple of months later. And when I did that, it kinda reset everything I had fought for a stable life. So yeah, I'm kinda in like a bad spot right now because I took my time. So I'm trying not to regret taking my time to mourn my mom, which ultimately, because it came just bit by bit, took me about 3 months. But I took like every second that I needed. So I ignored everything. I ignored most of work. Like whatever I could push, I pushed. And that's biting me back big time. I still think it was right to mourn. I think I needed that. But it makes me feel like I shouldn't have. You know? Because of the aftermath that I'm currently dealing with. And that is pulling me into a mental state that I dislike. You know? Don't be afraid to enforce what you need to mourn somebody. Because that might have a lot of adverse effects. And in his case, I wouldn't be surprised if it is one of the potential trigger points that led to him feeling like he's looping through every day. Or, in his case, actively looping through every day. Take care of yourself, please. No matter how hard it is afterward, take care of yourself. If you don't, it can get even worse. Okay? Also is for like every type of illness. Mental ailments, bodily ailments. Take care of yourself. Chat. I need you. And I love you. Okay? And if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot be here regularly. Let's ask about Hannah. Who is Hannah? Or who was Hannah? I hope it's the typical way to write Hannah.
My fiancée.
Aww.
My childhood sweetheart.
Shit.
We met at secondary school. She was head girl, I was the quiet one. She liked computer games, so I instantly fell for her. I proposed in Goldshire. She said she didn't date elves, so I leveled up to a human necromancer and asked again. Sorry, it's Warcraft.
That's cute.
We spent a lot of time on there.
He doesn't need to explain to me that's Warcraft, but I love it. So, you played Warcraft with Hannah.
We played World of Warcraft a lot together.
World of Warcraft is awesome. I grew up with that.
But we had a lot of memories there. To be honest, it reminds me a lot of life now. The same thing over and over again. Bring me X bunnies to make a stew. Y badger teeth.
Yeah, the
Rinse,
grind.
Repeat. Maybe I'm just grinding life.
Gamers connect, gamers connect. So why are you grinding life then? Do you need to level up?
I'm not really fit for work anymore. I work in produce at the local supermarket. That mainly involves lifting heavy crates of fruit and veg into place for people to buy. And doing that over and over again. My muscles don't seem to have grown much. I think that maybe I'm not aging. When the day resets, I just reset with it. I used to be a builder.
You used to be a builder? Okay. A builder?
I used to be a builder. A contractor. I had to quit. It's hard watching a house get built, only to start all over again the next day. I needed something less obvious.
Understandable. That's understandable. That is hard. That I can imagine trying to do something and you have done a lot and you have still a lot more to do and the next day you start from the start again? No. You start all from the beginning? I hate that in games. No. In real life that would be worse. But yeah, you're right. He's kinda... You know, I like... In guys, I do like lanky guys. am usually falling for the lanky gamer type. It's not the only type I'm falling for, but eh. But then again, I think my range of types is still very wide in no matter what gender, so should just build better. Damn! The burn! The fucking burn! We did the dice. God dang it! The burn! You know what? Oh, it takes me back to the builder. The burn though. Yo, bro. That is sick. Okay, so you don't think you're aging?
57. Kidding. Just if you spent the whole day at the gym and then repeat that day and not
He has
go,
humor.
you'd have achieved nothing.
He has humor. I'm 57, just with a straight face. I love it. I mean, if he was good at it, he wouldn't have quit. Well, while I appreciate the diss, it's awesome. Yeah, that sentiment is not true. He quit because he couldn't deal with it mentally anymore. That doesn't have anything to do with his skill. Yeah. But the diss is, you know, the diss is good. The diss is great. But yeah, that's a thing we have to say here. Quitting can have a lot of reasons, and only one of 1,000 or so is skill. But then again, some people could diss you with like, I'm feeling bad. Well, sounds like a skill issue to me. But yeah, I hate my job as well. See, but you're not especially bad at it, right? Hating your job has nothing to do with your skill in that job, right? But it's fine, Vivid guys. We kinda... Hating your job is a skill issue. Okay, understand. I hope either your job changed so in a way that it becomes easier for you, or that you find a way better job that you love. Because job hopping is a thing, you know? You're not married to your job, hopefully. And life is a skill issue. Yep! Confirmed, life is a skill issue. You don't think you're aging. Good. If you're looping, did you ever think of going back and saving Hannah? Now this is a harsh question, but it can really give us insight. Because him looping might also be tied to maybe a will not to, you know, not wanting to go on without his love. The love of his life, because he seems pretty monogamous in this sense. Or a wish to, rather than loop, go back in time. Because that's what a lot of people who experience this say, that they, if they could, wish they could go back in time and save whoever they lost. That's not a thing that doesn't happen often. It happens very much. It happens a lot. Like, are you in control of these things? Because I want to find out if he willingly loops. He said he wants to get out, but is there anything in it that he feels he can control?
I'm not in control. Doctor,
okay,
look
nothing.
At me. I'm broken. You need to help me.
Are you still feeling depressed? Because he said he went into depression after, and then he said he thought he was cured.
I do suffer from depression, but it's not very surprising, is it? I used to get fatigue too, just overwhelming tiredness. I don't really get that anymore. I've just learned to accept that this is my life now.
Yeah, later stages of depression. It's kind of not cured, but you learn to deal with it. I feel that. Even though I noticed my sleeping times are skyrocketing again. Like I moved from a regular 8 hours to 10, 11. That's not good. Back when that first hit hard, I remember I was sleeping for 2 days straight. I only got up for like a bite of food and toilet. It's like you can go 2 ways with depression and sleeping. Sometimes you experience both. It's like either you sleep almost not at all, or way too less, or you sleep way too much. Average 5 hour, yeah. You gotta sleep more, but I bet you've been told that a couple of times already. I also bet you tried. Just sometimes doesn't work. Just sometimes doesn't happen. Insomnia is a shit thing. So yeah, so much for depression. So he's technically still depressed, but he learned to deal with it. I'm not sure if that is good or bad. I wish I would know. I've been told so much, but I can't do it. I feel ya. At some point, it will regulate itself. At some point, you'll find a way to do it, but it's okay if it doesn't work right now. You can go on. You can do it. Okay? I know you can. Do you think you're in hell? Because he was talking about purgatory earlier. Win support. Yes! Okay, so... Oh, we talked about that already. So are you here because of that accident? Accident? I think this is how you write it. As well?
I've been shrunk for that already. If I had that day again, I wouldn't make the same mistake. Hannah would still be alive. We'd probably have a family by now. I haven't had any relationships since then.
Achievement! Curious! If I had that day again, maybe that was one of the things that subconsciously prompted it, but I'm not sure. But this is nice. This is nice. Okay, we're going somewhere. So why do you feel nothing changes? Because he said there are things that change, but at the same time he was talking about nothing really changes. Oh, I asked that already. I didn't write that down. I asked that already. What did he say there again?
Sometimes it looks different. Sometimes the bird song will change.
Oh no, right. He said that. Okay. Everything I noted down was kind of answered already. Is there anything that moves you forward?
To move forward, I really have to see something that feels like it can't be rewound. Like a death or some other tragedy. It's not enough to hear it or read it. I've got to see it. I suppose from that point of view, it looks like I'm in control of things.
He got to see it. But he definitely went on after the murder of Dr. Dekker. Because he said this is our first time. Did he see the murder of Dr. Dekker? What do you know about Dr. Dekker's murder?
Dr. Dekker's murder was sudden. Brutal. It's terrible. But Doctor... 2 weeks. 2 weeks I had of rolling days. No do-overs. No Monday. I wouldn't kill anyone, though. I'd have to keep doing it, wouldn't I? Few things seem to move me forward.
That would be a full loop to the moving forward question. I see. I just hopped a little too far with my thought process. I kind of just woke up and realized I'm home alone and nobody even told me anything. Oh no, Paulina. Yeah, today is a holiday, right? That's bad. I hope you did your groceries yesterday. Tell me about Dr. Dekker. Because I think right now we're at a good point where you can tell me about Dr. Dekker.
Was a complex man. I spent a lot of time with him, but he won't remember it that way.
Because of the looping, probably, yeah. Let's question that as well, but later. Why was Dr. Dekker complex?
I saw the conflict that Dr. Dekker was going through. Let's just say you might look back on your life and think there's nothing you would have done differently. No 2 days were alike for him in the end. Like he couldn't decide what to do with himself.
It's hard to discern how a person felt only through hearsay, you know? But we'll piece it together, I hope. Why do you think Dr. Dekker couldn't decide what to do?
He was like a kid in a sweet shop. He had so many options, he didn't know what to do. I suppose
in a good
if
way.
you take too long picking, all your options run away.
I wonder what option he's talking about. But let's go back to the other thing, because that question has no further things to go with. I can see that here. It has no stars, but this one has stars. So let's go with the other question I think will solve the 2 stars on Tell Me About Dr. Dekker, and that would be having him confirm that it is the loops why Dr. Dekker wouldn't remember it that way. So why wouldn't Dr. Dekker remember it that way? Way.
As
Cannot
far as
write.
Dr. Dekker was concerned, we had Monday, then moved on to Tuesday. But me, I had Monday 5, 10, 50 times before I got to Tuesday.
But we're actually on yellow now, so it's only greening out Nathan now. Are you here because of that accident?
I've been shrunk for that already.
You've been drunk?
Sorry.
No. Maybe now is a good question. If you could go back to that day, would you save Hannah?
No, I can't move backwards any more than a day. I don't really seem to control it. It's generally always on. I have to try and change something to move forward.
We greened Nathan out! We greened Nathan out! We did it! We did it! Well, we did it! We did it! We greened Nathan out! So how do we go from... Where do we go from here? So we've got the responses, we've got the question history, we've got the notes. Oh, I can continue now! Oh my god, yes!
Oh, Doctor, glad I caught you. I thought you might want to hear what Ben had to say. Quick catch up?
Nathan was interesting. I can do a catch up with Yaya. Okay, we're doing a catch up with Yaya. Let's go to. You know, we never asked her. Who are you even?
I don't know, Doctor.
You don't know who you are, Jaya? Well then, whatever. So something about Ben, right? Tell me about Ben.
I'm not sure Ben will be coming in for a while. He's still pretty shook up about finding the body. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often in the line of work he's in. Anyway, he said he found the body at exactly 20 minutes past 10. For some reason, the first thing he did was look at his watch. That's all he'd say before he'd shut down. The police weren't very talkative either.
Well, some people do that. 20 past 10, huh? I hope I'll remember that. I hope I'll find my notes again. Nathan was interesting, was an interesting fella. He deals with death, and he seems to loop. He seems to experience the same day over and over again. You know, to be honest, if I would find a body, as soon as I, know that I can still get a hold of myself, depending on how much it stinks and stuff, I might also look for the time. Because, some people, like me, in a panic situation, we have, either we have a protocol or we don't. If we don't have a protocol, we shut down. I shut down. If I don't have a protocol, I don't know what to do. I panic and that makes me shut down. If I have a protocol, aka my brain has some kind of act saved that I have to do, I will do that. I saw, on the street, I saw somebody with a motorcycle being in a crash with a car right in front of me. And back then I needed to go to college, to my apprenticeship college. I was already an adult back then. But I still stood there because my brain was like, you witnessed this. You have a duty to call, our version of 911. You have the duty to make a call to inform the right people about this, and then check on the people that are in this accident, and then stay because you made a call. So that's what I did. I made a call, I informed the right people about it, and during the call I went there and I checked them and I asked them to stay on the call because I don't know the appropriate way to care for somebody if something went wrong, so I might need instructions. And then I told them exactly what I did. Yeah, first aid. I forgot the name of it. I learned first aid ages ago. Like, I was 15 when I did my first aid thing, so I'm not even sure I can put somebody in a secure sideways position, you know? I do have a couple of things still in my brain, like, don't worry, a full helmet, an unbroken helmet also always contains like a full head. I have that saved in my brain because it's so unsettling. But you know, I do have a couple of these things like still somewhere saved in my brain, so I went through them and I told the person on the phone all that I did, because I told them, like, I need to do this and I need somebody to confirm this for me, otherwise I might panic, and I don't want that. Like, they need me in an unpanicky state. That worked well. I came to school like for 2 hours late, but I had a slip from the police, so... Because then when the police came and was like, can you kinda, hand me a number or something, and a slip from you that tells my teacher that I am actually late because of this, because I have a feeling nobody might believe me. And he didn't! He didn't believe me! But with the slip he also didn't call the number. He still looked like he wouldn't believe me, but he kinda let it slide. But yeah. So we need to green out Yaya, huh? But this is actually now our police job again. That's cool, because she seems to help us with a police job. And she's a secretary. So Ben found Dr. Dekker's body, huh?
Yes. Ben found Dr. Dekker's body on Valentine's night in his office. In your office.
Was für eine liebevolle Geste. In der Nacht zum Valentin, ha? Keine Bonks hier, keine Bonks. Es war nicht wirklich heldenhaft. Es war einfach nur das, was ich tun musste, würde ich sagen. Okay, dann fragen wir sie mal über die Valentinsnacht aus, nicht wahr? Scheint ja für sie besonders wichtig zu sein. Ich meine, okay, viele Leute haben da eine bestimmte Verbindung zu Valentinstag. Für mich ist es ein Kommerztag, aber, you know.
Yes, you know, the 14th of February, the day of love.
Ja, sicher, der Tag der Liebe.
A massacre, whichever's more you.
Ich glaube, ich würde lieber mit dem Massaker gehen, tatsächlich. Ich meine, was für ein cooler Valentinstag, wenn du ein tatsächliches Herz geschenkt bekommst. Das ist schon so irgendwie so ein bisschen mein Stil, weißt du? Außerdem wäre das mal ein cooler Valentinstag. Oh, was hast du beim letzten Valentinstag gemacht? Oh, ich habe 15 Leute umgebracht. Oh, cool, nice. Und du? Wenn du das sagst, werden die anderen dich doch nicht verstehen. Das stimmt. Die anderen verstehen mich nicht, aber sie verstehen wenigstens das Spiel, weißt du? Das ist halt wichtig. Ich frage nochmal genauer nach bei Ben.
Sorry, didn't you know? Ben's one of the night shift cleaners. I'm sure he's got some tales he could tell.
Night shift cleaner. No wonder he found him on Valentine's night then. By the way, one of the things I said was that would be more my style. Yeah, getting a real heart for Valentine's. I mean, that's a thing to tell your grandchildren if you ever had some, you know? So you mentioned the police. Because they weren't really talking to you. That is a standard.
The police wanted to know what I was doing Valentine's night. You know,
of course.
When the body was found.
Of course.
I was at home, all on my lonesome. So I guess that makes me a suspect.
let's say it doesn't clear you out of the list of suspects. That's what it does, to be honest. That would be the correct way to formulate that sentence. Who else is a suspect?
I think the police want you to make a short list of suspects, or maybe even find the killer. You're seeing all the patients that were on the books when he was killed. There was no forced entry, so they think it might be someone he knew, or someone who had access to the office. Yeah, like little old me. Do you think I'm a suspect, Doctor?
Yeah. You and everyone else are a suspect.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. I suppose everyone's a suspect at the moment, even you.
Correct.
They did mention I needed grief counselling, though, and I said you'd sort me out. I know you didn't agree, but I thought I'd let you know. That's very kind of you.
Thank you for letting me know. We're not green out yet. I'm gonna green her out. Can't handle this damage so good. Yay! I love that you like it. Do you know how Dr. Dekker was killed?
I'm not sure what you're getting at. Can you be more specific?
Well, were there any clues left behind at the crime scene?
I didn't see it myself, so I don't know. But I heard it was a bit of a mess with all the blood and everything. You know, they have people who clean up after such things, though, so you
True.
really can't tell, can you? But don't worry. That's a new chair.
So he died in the chair. I don't know. I don't care if the chair has been probably cleaned. Just blood. As long as it's not my blood. I mean, murder is pretty specific. Yeah, right? She got some dark humor. Yeah. But then again, in her line of work, who doesn't? Probably. So I don't care. So why is it a new chair? Did he die in here?
All I know is the police took his chair. Forensics, I suppose.
Yeah, he must have died in here. Why do you think anyone would want to kill Dr. Dekker?
Try asking me one thing at a time. It's alright, I'm not going anywhere.
Why would anyone try to kill Dr. Dekker?
Try asking me one thing at a time.
Why kill Dekker?
I'm not sure what you're getting at. Can you be more specific?
Breh! Kill Dekker!
I wouldn't say we were best friends, but we did spend a lot of time together. You know, there's only two of us that work here. I'm sure we'll become friends too, Doctor. Just try not to get murdered.
That is very weird, and that is the answer I get for kill Dekker. Why was Dekker in his office at night? Because that's kind of weird, right?
I don't know what Dr. Dekker was doing here, and my services weren't required that evening. He'd often stay late though, so it
That
wasn't
sounds
that
wrong.
unusual.
Did Dr. Dekker have any enemies?
I wasn't really in his social circle, so I don't know if he had any friends. In terms of enemies, I heard things get heated in his office sometimes, but I won't name any names.
That's bad. Maybe you should name names.
Susan, Annabelle, Melissa, there are some names, but they're not names of anyone I know.
Okay. Maybe now, why would anyone try to or want to kill Dekker?
He was stabbed, so that's quite a personal thing to do.
Oh, he was
I
stabbed.
wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the patients who had a problem with the treatment they were getting.
Well, we know somebody who has a history of liking stabbing people, wasn't it? Wasn't it Claire? Claire has a history of being a little bit stabby sometimes, right? I also have a stabby emote. I can also get stabby sometimes, but it's like a level 3 emote because space. I should ask the patients where they were that day. Good. Responses.
He was stabbed, so that's quite a personal thing to do. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the patients who...
Which patient do you think killed him?
I don't know anything about that.
Who do you think killed Dr. Dekker? He was stabbed.
It's good that you're asking lots of questions. I'm just not sure you're asking the right ones.
A problem with the treatment?
I'm just surmising. If you're unhappy enough to kill your therapist, they're probably not doing a very good job.
True. She is still not green. Why is she not green? Did you like Dekker? Oops. Kill Dekker. Do you think a patient killed Dekker because of their treatment? Mirroring again. Doesn't work. Any ideas, chat? Is stabbing personal to you? No. The thing is that nothing gives me something to green her out. Okay, I'll go through all of the things that I put on the site. Like, I mean, she told us, but...
I don't know exactly, but a stabbing of some kind. We'll be getting the autopsy through at some point. I'll let you know when.
Good to know. That was the question! Asking her again about that green her out. Oh god, nice. Okay. We're doing well. Continue. Yes.
I'm having a loop day.
Nathan is having a loop day. Well, we will find out about that next time. Well, we did a lot, I would say. Right? We did a lot. We did one heckin' lot. I thank you for being here. I love you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Let's go. Hey, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. And thank you so much to Zelex90 and Westmake87 for supporting me on Ko-fi to make these videos happen. And you can also support further videos coming up and see your name here in the credits. Just hit the link in the description and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!